Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Albinster's Palms here. This is August 16th, I believe, and it's Friday. Pretty warm day out already. It's like 11 o'clock, and it's roughly about maybe 92 degrees, 93. It's supposed to be like 98 today, close to 100, so another hot day. But yeah, looking here at the palm, the California fan palm up front. I don't show it too much, but here it is. Pushing out. Oh, the frond here should be out by end of next week. Just pushed out that one though. Looking good nevertheless. I know it's kind of hard to see on camera, but that's what it's looking like. Trunk is still kind of skinny. I trimmed off a few of the dead fronds on it, but nevertheless looking good. Nice little view of it. So hopefully next year it'll take off even more. Hopefully the frond sizes will get a lot bigger. But this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Opening its 7th frond. We'll go take a look at the one in the back and see how much further along this one or that one is. Okay, so taking a look at this one. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's opening its 8th frond. So it has one more frond, but this one definitely looks like it's filling out a lot more. And this one I think is finally growing a lot faster than the one up front. So this was a very slow growing palm this year, but it finally took off. As you can see, the trunk is even a little bigger on it. But this one's looking good. Nice fronds are starting to fully open, and this one's just about out. So this one should be open by the end of the week, on Sunday maybe. But looking at it, pushed out these ones, looking good. It usually gets a little bit of the morning sun and then during the day, but during the winter it doesn't really get a whole lot of sunlight, but it does get the warmth from the wall. So that's kind of why I planted it here, because in case if it gets really cold or something, it has the wall to help provide the heat that the palm needs, so it won't really be as cold in that corner as it normally would be if it was out in the open. But nevertheless, it's looking good. Looks really good. It's looking nice and full. I've had this one for about a year now. I've had this one about a year. I got it from some local seller for 20 bucks. So I got it, and it's doing good. And then these ones too. That one's from Arizona as well. So the palms that I got from him, the one up front and the one here, are from Arizona. I believe Maricopa. So that's where it's coming from. These ones are from a local tree in Albuquerque. So these ones are grown from seed, and there's 5 of them. So I had to move them over here because the grasshoppers were biting off the fronds. As you can see, they're kind of destroying it. Not that it's affecting the palm, but it's just that it looks like crap when they destroy them, because brand new growth and it gets destroyed. So they're seem to be doing better here now. But you can see where they just chewed off all the tops of the fronds here. So those will have to eventually be cut. But it seems like it's not stopping it from growing. It's still growing perfect. Just opened these ones now too. So has these new fronds opening up. These are tall. These ones have gotten big. My friend who is also growing palm trees, he has a couple of these from the same batch as mine, so from the same tree, so the same age, and they are a little smaller but a little bit more fuller. They're a little more chunkier than these ones. These ones are taller. As you can see, this one's almost as big as the one in the ground. I mean, it's just getting huge. Nice thing is that they're still in relatively small pots, which is what I want, because the smaller the pot, the easier it is to move, the better it is, and the more years you could have them in a pot than versus in the ground. I would plant these. I just don't really have anywhere to plant them, as my whole yard is pretty much occupied with plants and bushes, so I really don't have any more space to plant any more palm trees. These ones I'm not separating. People might say like, oh, why haven't you separated them? Why haven't you why are you leaving them like that? Well, that's going to affect their life and blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. It's not going to affect their lives. This is how they grow. Once the seed falls from the mother plant, they sprout wherever, if naturally. So anywhere the seed falls, eventually within a few months, you're gonna have a palm tree sticking out of the ground. And they're meant, like they grow like this. This is naturally how they grow, together in clumps. And they'll find their way, they'll find a way to keep growing, they'll find a way to keep sprouting, and they'll let nature take care of it. You know, these ones, like I said, I planted them in here just to see what would happen, see how they would look, and they're doing just fine. I have a small, medium, and large one in here. So this one, and again, this is all how they grown. You know, this one decided to take off and be the fuller, biggest one. As you can see, the trunk is a lot bigger than these ones. And then you have a medium one, which is a little smaller. It's a little smaller, but it's still pushing lots of growth, as you can see. And then you have this one here, and it's still pushing out. It's not even pushing out the palmate fronds yet, so it's not even fully developed. So you have 3 of them, and they're doing just fine. You know, they're still growing, they're not dying, they're striving, just like these ones. And these ones have, they're, like I said, they're all the same age. The only reason is that these ones are so small is because they're in a pot, in a cluster together. And if I were to ever separate them now, it'd be too late, because they're just, the roots are so conjoined. So it'd probably harm them more than leaving them there together. So yeah, they would be the same size as these ones, but even then, like, you could still see they're not much smaller than those ones. Anyway, moving on. Taking a look here at the Canary Island date palm. Looking a lot better now that I repotted it. As you can see, when you saw in the last video, the leaves are kind of closed, but now they've opened fully and they're getting stronger. So I always wanted to put it in this pot, but I was waiting till it was big enough to fit in this pot. But looking at it now, it looks perfect, looks good. It's leaning a little bit to this side, but I think it's going to start filling in on this side, especially when this frond starts fully erupting out. So nevertheless, really bushy though, as you can see. Really, again, I've had this one for about 3 years, and 3 years in December. I've had it for 3 years. And this one, like I said, I got it from, I believe I got it from, I got it from Phoenix. It was Tempe, where I purchased it at a Lowe's. I purchased it at Lowe's in Tempe. And I also got this California fan palm from Las Cruces. Like, see, look at the grasshopper on here. You have to get them off because they're just going to destroy the fronds and everything. So looking at it here, seems like this one kind of grew weird. Look at this frond. Look at this frond right here. The blades, like the fan leaves right here, the little blades are shorter on this side of the frond than it is on this side. This side, they're a lot longer. It's kind of crazy how it grew like that, but it's growing. It's doing nicely. This frond is growing nice. I've had this one for 2.5 months roughly. I've had it. Again, I think it's in the same pot. I already potted it once. And I almost didn't even need to repot it the first time, but I did. So it's doing good. Looking at it here, this is I believe the second new, no, that's the newest frond, I think. This is the second newest, and then this is already opening up. As you can see, I just pushed out that one over the time I was gone, and it's already opening another one. So looking at that palm tree now, it's getting big. It's looking nice, it's getting full, it's doing great. It's in a small pot, and this is the way it should be. You should have a big tree in a little pot, if you know that if there's still a lot of growing space. I just repotted this. I know there's tons of growing space in this pot, so I'm not worried. I could probably get till maybe mid-winter before I have to repot it again, early winter, and I'll have to upgrade the pot size. When you're growing palm trees, you don't want to upgrade the pot sizes too often. You want to try and keep them in the same pot for as long as you can, because if you keep repotting them, you're going to have a little tree in a big pot. Almost like this, but like I said, I still left a bunch of growing space. I left a bunch of space so I could keep adding dirt at the bottom. Here's a perfect example. So I've had this palm, the Sable Palmetto dwarf palm, for about 3 years. I got it in, I believe I got it like near Goodyear. I think that's where I've got this, in Goodyear, Arizona. near there. Anyway, I've only had to repot this once out of the 3 years I've almost had this. So as you can see here, look how much space I have above the soil line right here. I could still repot this in the same pot that it's been in for the 3 years. I could still add more dirt to the bottom and use it one more time before I have to fully upgrade the pot size of this palm tree. And it's still growing nice. Opened up this frond, as you can see, and has another spear down there, but this year it's actually had the most growth on it, so it's actually doing nicely now. It's never looked the greatest, but it's a nice little palm. Anyway, same goes for the pineapple. Look how much space. I'm gonna have to repot this probably. It's been a while. But as you can see, look how much space I have between the top of the rim and the soil line. So I could easily keep adding dirt to the bottom of this pot before I need to upgrade the pot size to it. And that's what you want to have if you plan on keeping it in the pot for quite some time, a few years or however long you want to keep it in a pot. That's what you want to do. You don't want to fill it up all the way to the top of the pot unless it's absolutely ready to be put to the top of the pot. So same goes for the blue Mexican fan palm. Here we go. Here's the blue Mexican fan palm, looking great. Beautiful color. Getting nice, beautiful morning sun on it. But yeah, look, it just opened this whole frond. So it's pretty much opening. This one has some spears too, little spikes on the petiole. As it gets older, it'll have some more bigger ones, more aggressive ones. It's looking great. And look how much space I have. I didn't fully plant it to the top of the pot because I've done that, and you'll have a much bigger root ball. The roots are just going to go straight all the way down because it's going to think that it can just keep growing and growing like if it was in the ground. You don't want that. It's going to go all the way to the bottom. The roots are going to go all the way to the bottom. So now you're going to have this really big root ball and this little tiny palm. And now this little tiny palm has such a big root ball, you're going to have to already plant it because it's not going to have any more growing space to be put in any other pot. So, like I said, leave it slowly. Add dirt to the bottom, slowly repot them. I could easily repot this one more time probably in this pot if I really wanted to, but I don't want to, so I'm gonna probably have to bare root it, take off as much dirt off the root ball as I can, and then try and repot it and compact the roots a little bit more, so I'll have more growing. So I'll have this in a pot for longer. I won't have to worry about repotting. I'll have to probably trim some growth off of it because it's going to probably go into shock and kill some of its fronds just for that fact. So I'm going to have to, like I said, repot this later, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. I have about another year before I have to repot it again, so just redid it. I just repotted it. So, but as you can see, we right now have about maybe 2 months left, 2.5 months left maybe of growing time where we'll have hot temperatures, and within 2 months we'll eventually, then it's winter's going to come, fall's going to come, so these things will have to probably start getting ready to go back inside once we start reaching temperatures below like 35 degrees, well, below 38.9 I would say. So like I said, well, I would say 35. Like I said, we still have about a couple months left before it starts really getting cold. We'll see. Every fall is different. It might not start getting really cold until, early December or late fall, somewhere around like late November. But anyway, taking a look here at the Trachycarpus fortunei windmill palm. It's pushed out this whole frond, as you can see. Some of them kind of different. They have these thicker blades than this one, as you can see. So it's kind of different, but nevertheless, it's even getting ready to open another one. So it's looking good. It took probably 3 years, 4 years, probably 4 years actually, for this thing to really start growing nicely. It's getting really bushy, real green. It's looking great. Now it's finally pushing big adult fronds, big fronds at least, and it's looking good, really nice. It took forever for this thing to really start looking nice, but it is. Then the back have these silvery pigment fronds to them. It still has a couple fronds I might have to trim on the side, but I'll leave them. Hopefully this thing can start getting taller and eventually put a chair up against it or something and relax. Here are these wildflowers that started growing. Some of the buds have died. Some of them haven't really flowered yet, but provides greenery. This maple's had it rough a little bit, just getting some leaf damage to it, but yeah, so there's the palm tree, looking good. Again, I paid a lot of money for this, so I really don't want to have to lose it. So it's paid like $200 for it, and it's worth probably $400 now. I went to Plant World and they had like a bunch of these. I had like 15 of them, and they all wanted like $400 each. So there's no way I could afford them, but I loved the color and I loved these palms, so they're a good size. They're huge though, and I had nowhere to plant it. But anyway, taking a look here at this little California fan palm from Mesa, Arizona. Fully green trunk, a little purple there, but not too big of a deal, but it's growing. It's doing nicely. That's one of the smallest ones I have. That's almost the same size as the one I have up front by the sign, like by the up front, the seedling that I planted. Here are the saguaros. I repotted these and I just try to straighten them out a little bit more, so they're looking better. These things have gotten huge since I've had them for 3 years later. As you can see, they're getting real fat and they're looking good. Looking real good, the saguaro cactus. And then these are the ones up front. If you ever saw when I had my palm potted during the winter, well, I covered during the winter with a box, these things started growing inside of it due to the warmth in the box. And as you can see, this one's even pushing a few pups on the side of the bottom. So yeah, this one's doing nice, and this one's doing nice. They're these, they're called twisted yuccas. And I had the third one, but it died. So, oh yeah, let's take a look at the Mediterranean fan palm. Mediterranean fan palm doing real good. It's pushing out a lot of fronds now, so it's finally taking off. It's opening up another one. If I can show you guys, it's looking great. It's pushing a lot of spikes on the side too, so yeah, it's actually growing now. No pups or suckers at the bottom yet, unfortunately, but actually looking at it, it looks like it is going to push some pups here. Look at that. That actually looks like a pup starting to grow at the bottom, meaning there's going to be multiple trunks starting to grow at the bottom. And it has one on each side, so I'm thinking that those are going to be the new trunks coming out. So this thing's going to have 2 more trunks at the bottom of this palm, which is going to be nice. So this thing will be real nice, and eventually once it gets real big, I'm going to plant it. Hopefully I'll be in another house by then to where I could afford to plant them, where I know I'll be able to plant them because for many years to come, and enjoy them for many years to come, because, you know, like I said, the only reason I'm not planting any of these is because I don't want to plant something and then risk having to move to where I'll have to go get more of them. And it's like, especially the canary and the date palms, like I wouldn't want to lose this palm or any of my rare palms. These are kind of a dime a dozen, but still, I don't want to plant them if I know I'm not going to be here for that much longer, so I don't want to risk it. And maybe I won't, it just depends on the market's good and everything, but maybe 2.5 years. So like I said, I don't want to plant the palms and then risk having to leave them here. And then someone else may not take care of them, especially the canary. They won't know how to take care of them. So anyway, taking a look here at the seedlings. If you guys are interested, let me know. If you guys want to buy these palm trees. So I have a whole cluster there if you guys want to buy them, or I'm selling them individually, as you can see here. So these ones are, if you guys want to message me, I can sell them and we can talk prices then, make a deal. These I actually got from Hyde Park, so these are a long way from home. These are probably about 80 miles away from home. I dug these out of the ground, I pulled them out, and these are from Hyde Park, from the mountains, from the forest. So I dug them out during the camping trip, if you guys saw that vlog. Anyway, potted them up and keeping them in the shade so they don't go into shock or anything. And once I start seeing new growth on it, I'll try and keep them out. And we'll see what these little trees look like You know, maybe I'll have a little Christmas tree. Anyway, yeah, but all these are pushing their third or fourth spears by now, and they're looking good. So this is what I'm selling. Let me know if you guys are interested. Send me an email at albinster69@gmail.com, and you can contact me there or leave a comment in the comments. But yeah, and if you guys are interested in buying the whole thing, maybe we could work a deal there. I just don't have the money to buy the cups or anything right now. I'm just trying to, and the dirt, I'm just trying to see what I can get for these, so I can kind of start putting money towards this to where I can start separating these. But yeah, if you let me know if you're interested, I'll sell you some if you're local or want to come to Albuquerque to buy them. But anyway, here's a Majesty palm. And these are pretty rare. Like, well, they're not rare, but they're really tropical, and they're more for Florida weather. You'll see them in Florida, but like really big ones in the ground. But over here, that you can see them, you can find them at your local Walmart or wherever, Home Depot. They're nothing special, but you know, they're cool when you can keep them outside. Most people, these are more indoor plants and patio palms, but which is where it is. But I've had mine adapt to the outside, so it's doing great. Here's the Chinese pistache tree, looking really good now, and look how much growth it has on it. So this one's really gonna take off. These ones too are just backups, really. So I'm not worried about those if those die. But anyway, yeah, just to look at the palms. That's a full yard update. So again, let me know if you have any questions about the palm Washingtonia seedlings. Those seedlings will look just like this palm right here. So that's what it will look like, and you could have a nice looking palm within a few years. Look at this one. See, it's eating off my palm trees. You could just see it was starting to eat my palm. This grasshopper right here. So, like I said, it sucks having grass because these grasshoppers just start attacking my palm trees for food when they have a whole grass to eat. But anyway, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hope you guys enjoy these videos, and as always, we will see you in the next one. Bye.